Hey everybody. Okay, so we're starting our class tonight, winter prep. We've been doing a series for getting ready for winter and all the different things that change for the winter and how it impacts our bodies. And stress and sleep is one of the big ones that is impacted by this time of the year. So although a lot of people have stress and sleep all year round, it is something that might get more impacted this time, amplified this time of the year. So we wanted to have a whole class on this, and what we want to do is we want to help you problem solve how to figure out what your problem is, like
what's going on.
And so we're basically, because everybody is, and you'll hear, like, as we talk about all the reasons why people have trouble sleeping, you'll hear all the different reasons, and maybe you'll be like, oh yeah, that's not my problem, that's not my problem, this is why I'm having trouble. And that's like the first step, because we have, both of us, we hear so many people come to us like, oh, I have trouble sleeping, I can't sleep, I have insomnia, or like whatever it is. That's one of a big complaint, and sometimes we're the first person to ask them, well, why? And well, let's start breaking that down. What do you think's going on? And a lot of times people are like, oh, I have no idea why. So starting to just break down, for any time you have any type of symptom, if your body is out of balance, ask the question of why and start digging into it and start looking into it more. And then that will help you, because we're working with natural products, that will help you find the more about what's going to support your body to get back into balance. Because it's not about finding a diagnosis so that you can find the matching medication. It's about figuring out, because even a diagnosis isn't going to tell you what part of your body is out of balance. Like when somebody says, oh, I have such and such diagnosis, the first thing I do is I just like look that up and I start reading through it to try and dig and find what body systems is that, like what part of the body does that have to do with? And then that's how I start figuring out, oh, okay, well, maybe we need to look more into this type of supplement, this type of oil, that sort of thing.
And sleep is so different because it can be a wide array of things. So it's not just like one body system. It's not just like one thing. It can be, and we're going to go over it, it can be mind, it could be body, it could be emotions, spiritual, it can be all these different things. And so that's why we kind of wanted to talk about it and teach you guys how to do the steps to, like, if Talia or I say something and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, like that makes a lot of sense for me. I can't believe that could be a reason why I'm not sleeping.
Write it down.
Whoa, write it down. Like get some paper, get a pencil, write it down, and then go from there so that you can,
start to problem solve.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
problem solve.
Figure out what works for you. So this type of year, what changes in general about our life? So we have more on our mind. Christmas, holidays, whatever it is, we have more on our mind, and there's so much, like your normal daily life of all your to-dos and all your responsibilities, suddenly you also have all this other things on top of it. Like I pretty much am the one in the household that takes all of the gift processing and food and planning, and all the extra things are suddenly also on my plate. So not only am I like homeschooling and have a home business and doing like the normal daily life stuff, I also now have all these other things going on too. So that keeps my mind going pretty, hi John. That keeps my mind going busy pretty fast too. But also the time of the year, it's getting darker. It's dark at like 5 o'clock where we live. So that's pretty crazy. But what does that mean? What do people start doing more when it's darker? There's more caffeine. You have to,
I swear as soon as the sun goes down, I'm all, okay, ready for bed.
Yeah.
Like I have to like keep myself awake until it's bedtime. And then I feel like sometimes that just kicks me in the butt, because then I'm like, oh, now I have my second wind, and now I'm super like, woo, let's do this. And I'm like, wait, it's time for bed. Like, it just drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, it's better than living in Alaska where they get like no sun all day long for like 2 months. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Talk about sleep problems.
So a lot of times we're doing stuff to keep ourselves awake longer.
Yeah, so you're drinking, you're like drinking caffeine later.
Sugar, because sugar can give you energy.
Mm-hmm.
What do we write down? Oh, your foods are changing because the winter time we tend to eat more sweet foods. We tend to eat heartier, heavier foods. Everybody's bringing sweets into the office and all the places, so we tend to nibble more and eat more stuff. You might be drinking less water because you're not hot and you're not feeling like you need water.
That's me, a story of my life. Story of my life. You're inside more, so you're watching screens more. Maybe you reach for that wine or that beer a little earlier and have more of it so that you're not sleeping well because of that. So lots of things changes. It's a stressful time of year in all aspects. Family and shopping and the feel of maybe your community is different and it's busier and there's just so much to do.
Yeah, people get more frantic. I mean, more frantic. It's a lot harder.
You're making more decisions. The brain is on like overload.
And I think it's important to just first stop and recognize that, because if you're starting to feel pressure and you're starting to feel all this stuff and maybe that you can't handle it, or you're having feelings of insecurity or worry or fear, just stopping and taking a moment and realizing all the extra stuff that's on your plate this time of the year and food. both with your to-do list and your plate of food. Like literally paying attention to that so you can at least acknowledge what might be impacting you. And that's part of the journey that we want to take you on. Is first thing you have to do is stop and recognize, like, okay, wait, I'm having a hard time. What is going on? And stop and pay attention. So we like to do this little diagram. Just take a piece of paper and write, we're going to talk
a bubble graph.
We're
going back to second grade.
But look, maybe just start out with sleep, because stress
it's because of that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll keep it back here.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
So just draw a circle in the middle of your paper of sleep. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to start thinking about, like, well, what might be impacting my sleep? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So, and I'd like you to take yourself off mute or use the chat if you have some ideas of what are some things that impact sleep. So what's going to go in your little bubbles for you, not just not anybody. Only write down on your piece of paper.
This is for you to problem solve. And this may not be like, so we're not talking about like hardcore, I mean, maybe we are, insomnia, like you literally can't sleep all day, every day. Like we can talk about that. But for some people, it's just in more stressful times. Sometimes it's more in different parts of your cycle. Some women are postmenopausal and it's part of that. Like there's so many. And Gretchen, from beauty school, if you remember anything that doctor said about sleep and postmenopausal and melatonin and stuff, please feel free to like say anything. I just didn't have my notes with me. So, so we're going to talk about some things that are known to impact your sleep. And so if you hear something, write it down.
Okay.
Right?
So yeah, take yourself off mute if you have something to say, but we just kind of brainstormed some different things. When your thyroid is out of balance, that can definitely impact your sleep. Let's start with the easy ones. Okay, this one's probably here. You just talk about that.
So sometimes digestion. So if you're eating different foods, or say you are eating late right before you go to sleep, sometimes people can eat food before they go to bed, and while they're digesting food, they just can't sleep because their body is just working too hard. And so when you're working too hard digesting food, your mind and your body, it's a physical thing that your body can't sleep, right? So a lot of studies will say, and people and nutritionists will say, that don't eat after like 7 p.m. because when you go to bed, you want to kind of go to bed on an empty stomach so that your body is not digesting, but it's more resting when you go to sleep.
And if depending on what type of food you've eaten, like pay attention to what you're eating in the evening. If you're proud of yourself because you had a really healthy meal, but then you start snacking closer to bed.
Dark chocolate
Dark
right before you
chocolate, that
go
sort of
into
thing.
bed and brush your teeth.
So start, if that is something that you might be a problem for you, start paying
Look at
attention
that.
this next week. Maybe even a journal. Keep your little bubblegram,
Mhm.
your bubblegram, and write down what you're eating before bed, and think about, is that impacting my digestion? Is that impacting my body from being able
Yeah.
to rest, to have physical rest? So on the same note, other organs in your body also are regenerating and working at night to repair. That's what happens when you're sleeping. Your cells are repairing. Your body's at rest. And that's a big reason why we shouldn't be eating right before bed. I mean, they talk about 3 hours before bed.
Right.
Because when you're digesting, we talk about this a lot, when you're digesting, your body is busy and it's occupied digesting. When you're not digesting, it's able to work and focus on other things of your body.
Rest.
At nighttime, that's repairing and regenerating.
And that's also why not getting good sleep and not having a good sleep pattern can lead to dis-ease.
Yeah.
Because
and
immune system problems, because your body is literally not able to regenerate itself during the time that it's supposed to be resting.
So one of the things that's pretty cool, if any of you guys have the Ultimate Balance book, let me find the cover of this. So you know this one, the Ultimate Balance book.
Speaking of sleep,
it has time zones, which you can find time zones for organs many different places.
Yeah.
But like, for example, in the middle of the night, let me start. 11 p.m. Oh, start at 9. 7 to 9 p.m. No, 9. Sorry. 9 to 11 p.m. is your triple warmer, which is your thyroid, your adrenals, and your pituitary. So your thyroid, your adrenals, and your pituitary are more active at that time from 9 to 11 p.m. So if you're having trouble kind of falling asleep or getting to bed at that time, or maybe you can't fall asleep until after 11, there might be some disturbances in those organs that are keeping your body awake. Because just a simple organ having problems is enough, like agitation in your body, to keep you awake. So after 11, from 11 to 1, your gallbladder.
Which is really important for digesting fats. So think about food before you go to bed.
And maybe adding more lemon, adding more the gallbladder liver flush, GLF, doing some gallbladder support.
If you toss and turn from 11 to 1 a.m.
Your liver from 1 to 3. And I hear so many people, I'm like, well, what? Because now that I know this, that's one of my first questions. Well, what time are you waking up in the middle of the night? And so many people are like, oh, around 2 o'clock. That's your liver. So when we talk about liver all the time, livers need love. I just ordered
liver
another.
Is your vitality organ. If your liver is not happy and supported, you're not going to sleep, which doesn't lead to vitality. Like, there's so many things about the liver.
I just ordered another bottle of Juba Cleanse that I'm just going to take by capsules until it's gone, just to like.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yearly, I'm kind of doing that. Then from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., it's your lungs. Your lungs are working extra hard during that time. So that's something to pay attention to. 5 to 7 a.m. is your large intestine, which makes sense because then you kind of have that morning bowel movement after that. And then it gets even more detailed than that. It could be what's called the opposite organ. So what you have to do is you have to start thinking, well, okay, like we're going to run through all these different reasons. You're just writing down, could it be, could it be, could it be? And then you're going to investigate further. So if there's a possibility that you have, maybe you already know you have an organ that's out of balance and has some trouble, well, look at that and think about maybe what time it's more active or regenerating, and maybe that could be part of your sleep disturbances, okay? So physical pain is obviously a big one. If you have physical pain, I couldn't sleep for a very long time in my life because of physical pain. I couldn't fall asleep. I'd wake up with pain in the middle of the night. I'd wake up in the morning with pain. I had chronic inflammation in my body, and it was really impacting my sleep. So just pain. So if, that's kind of I mean, not easy, but I just identifying that. Is that what's really going on? Amanda was even mentioning the quality of your bed. I mean, like, is your bed, do you have an old mattress? Like, what's going on with your mattress? That's something to pay attention to.
Physical activity during the day. So are you going for a walk for 30 minutes? Are you going to the gym? Are you working out? Are you doing a yoga? Are you doing something physically active during the day? That really helps you sleep at night.
Okay, mineral deficiencies could be part of it. So that's paying attention to the food that you're eating. That's paying attention to, are you getting a diverse food group? Are you eating enough fruits and vegetables? Are you eating, if you're eating animals, are they eating plants? Are they living a life that's eating plants and getting the minerals into their body for you to get that? Mineral deficiencies could really be impacting it. So if you speculate that could be one of your issues, you could try adding mineral essence into your Ninja Red or something, because this is just such an easy way to get a good dose of it for a week or so, and see if that impacts you at all.
Respiratory issues, so not being able to breathe when you lay down, having, sleep apnea can lead to decreased heart function. So maybe if your heart isn't functioning properly and your respiratory system isn't functioning properly, you're not able to get into that nice, deep quality sleep. Hormones. Like, I know for me at different parts of my cycle, my estrogen is really high. I don't sleep the greatest. Or postmenopausal women don't make as much melatonin.
Do you guys know this? I did not know this.
Yeah, so they don't make zero. They make zero melatonin when you're postmenopausal. Your body just stops creating it, and so you need.
Are we not supposed to sleep after menopause?
I don't know.
I don't get this.
What is the deal?
It's not cool.
It's not cool. It's not cool. But Gretchen, did you grab your notes from that? Yeah, she's gonna say something.
Yeah, so the one thing I remember that she said, which kind of I went, because I was all about, I deal with this from time to time or more often. But anyway, that she prescribes very high amounts of melatonin. I think she said upward 35 milligrams, 30 to 35 milligrams for some patients.
Yeah.
So I was just
yeah.
Wow, because the functional medicine doctor that I was seeing a while back, he was giving me 4 or 5 milligrams. And I'm well, no wonder it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be playing with that myself, just kind of upping, because I still have some of the, I don't know what they are, 4 or 5 milligrams. So I have taken a couple. I haven't really upped it to the amount that she was saying, but it's definitely something that I'm going to be exploring.
Mishu, 4 to 5 is kind of the norm in general. Yes, it is, Mishu. That is the norm for Western medicine, but this was a functional medicine doctor that spoke at our beauty school, and she is seeing really great results because women in particularly, and this is postmenopausal women, she was specific.
That's me.
Yeah, she was specific in that, saying that is who I'm talking about. They literally, we just stupidly stop making melatonin.
There has to be a reason.
There has to be a reason. And she's prescribing super high doses and getting really great results. And she had a ton of studies, right? She put up a ton of studies with melatonin and sleep and melatonin and disease and melatonin and cancer, all those things, tons of studies on it. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah.
So if you think that might be something that you need to look more into, then finding a functional medicine doctor, doing your research on your own, that would be the bubble that you're going to fill out and start looking more into, right?
Right.
So
age.
Well,
liver and bowel toxicity. So we just talked about livers, and then constipation. If your liver and your bowels and your colon are working overtime. You said thyroid.
Yeah.
So
okay, and then there's the whole mindset.
So that was more physical.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, we talk about, the mind controls the physical body. So the mind may be having issues and it's manifested as a physical symptom. So we're kind of blurring the lines here, but a lot of times people think, oh, it's just my mind. My mind races. I'm too stressed out. I can't sleep because my mind is just going. Well, it's possible, totally possible. But what are some other things that we talked about?
Yeah, so we actually kind of had to debate back and forth, like, should we split this into like mind or, emotional mind / body? Because, how we always talk about it's so connected, but it does kind of help you kind of start. It's just a starting point to figure out why you might have trouble sleeping, to kind of categorize, well, could it be physical symptoms? Could it be emotional, mental symptoms? But then always you have to cross-reference. You have to cross-reference. If you figure out that it's really your liver having a really hard time from 1 to 3 a.m., you have to come over and look at the emotions with liver as well. If you figure out that, you have some serious emotions about such and such, then cross-reference and look at what organs are impacted by that. You have those tools, you have those books. So always cross-reference, but this is just going to be a starting place to really be able to help you break it down. So I was just thinking about like for me, falling asleep is really hard because my mind is going. When I wake up in the middle of the night, it's hard again to fall back asleep, even if I wake up to go to the bathroom or I hear a noise or something. And so I was just taking the time, and this is what you need to do. So write in your bubble, like busy mind or whatever it is, or too much to think about. But then take the time to really break that down. What is that and where is that coming from? If you're having trouble with your emotions, it's most likely fear-based. It's most likely fear-based. So if you're like, oh, I have so much to do. Okay, well, if I'm worried about having too much to do, what is that? What's the fear there? That's what you have to ask yourself. So if I'm constantly like, oh, I don't want to forget, I don't want to forget, I don't want to forget, I don't want to forget. What does that sound like? What does that sound like that I'm having trouble with? I'm having trouble with like losing control, right? I have a fear of losing control, a fear of things coming apart. Or I might feel in my life that I'm incredibly unsupported and that I have to do it all, or, all these different things. That's what you have to do, is start to take the time. So I was just thinking, I wrote down, control issues, no support, but there could also be lots of negative memories that are coming up, and just trying to process sleep and dreaming is really, really important for processing. All of your dreams take all that stuff, and unfortunately sometimes they can be scary and they can wake you up, but scary dreams and nightmares is actually a good thing, because in a way it's helping your body process that stuff. But again, what we need to do is spend time in it. We need to spend time in it and sit with it and say, what was that about? Where is that coming from? And spend the time looking into it so that you can support yourself through that. And then the next night, maybe that's what you need to start working on, is figuring out what oils to put in your diffuser while you're sleeping to help with those emotions and help you process that stuff. Okay. Depression definitely is
anxiety,
and depression and anxiety. And but depression and anxiety can also be very physical related and food related. So again, doing that cross-referencing, but looking at depression, looking at anxiety, and not stopping. That's why I don't like the diagnosis. I don't like those diagnoses, because, oh, I have depression, oh, I have anxiety. That is just like an umbrella term for so many different things that could be causing it. What's the root issue? What's causing it? So whatever it is, just your mind is too busy. You're making lists. You have depression. You're scared. Whatever. You have to stop and sit in it and figure out where it's coming from. Because that's what we try and do, is we try and just pop a pill. We try and, just go try and switch on more TV or pick up your phone, distract yourself.
Oh, that's a big one for me. I just distract myself. I go, don't want to feel that. Distract myself in my phone. And that is one of the other things that's not very good for you. So your mind is racing. You have emotional issues, and then you drowned yourself in your phone, right? The blue light, all the negativity, all the other things on Facebook, Instagram, social media, all these things. And then your mind goes 50 million other places, and then you doubt yourself, and then you have more fear, and then you have more anxiety, and then you have more overwhelmness, and then you don't feel like enough, and then you don't, I mean, it just compounds itself. So really being intentional about and conscious about the choices you make before you go to bed are huge. And that's hard to do, but
having some bedtime routines.
Having bedtime routines
are going to be really important,
especially if you're struggling with sleep. So going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time is really good for the thyroid, really good for the adrenals. Not having caffeine after a specific time in the afternoon, and not looking at your phone, and maybe even just doing like a quiet little prayer or meditation or something before you go to bed, and not looking at any screens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the screen thing, it's not only just wear and tear on your eyes,
right,
but especially if you're on social media or you're reading the news or whatever it is on the internet, it's most likely not a lot of positive messages, unless you're like listening to Louise Hay state some really awesome affirmations and you're doing like mirror work on your phone. More than
there you go.
Yeah, this you could go to Louise Hay and get some of her apps. And so there are actually really great apps that you can then turn on those, and they can guide you through some really wonderful, either just music that helps you unwind, but you need to find your routine. So maybe in one of your bubbles, it's going to say nighttime routine. Nighttime routine is something that you've got to work on, and adding in some boundaries. Setting some personal boundaries for yourself. And that might have to do with feeling worthy of this, like feeling valuable enough to take care of yourself. Saying that, because also if you're keeping yourself up, that could, and having trouble sleeping because of fill in the blank, there could be an identity around that where you're like, well, no, I have to go. I have to do this. I can't miss out. I've got blah blah blah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be very much be something that feel like you have to self-sacrifice for. So maybe recognizing that, oh no, I actually need to start I actually need to start taking more self-care and taking more care of myself, and recognizing that the better sleep you're going to have, the better person you're going to be the next day. So if it convinces
and the more healing
yourself,
you're going to do.
Yeah, the more healing you're going to do, you're going to live longer. There's so many benefits to good sleep. So valuing yourself, thank you, honey. Valuing yourself enough to say, no, this is really important and I need to have some boundaries. So, at a certain time, you're going to turn off your phone and you're going to turn off the computers. At a certain time, you're going to put down your fork and not have any more snacks. You're going to change your music. You're going to change even the people around you, not have certain phone calls, certain people that might aggravate and stimulate you.
Yes.
Yeah, there might be people in your life that are trying to call you and talk to you at certain times, and you're just like, you can say no to those things. You're that important and that worthy of taking care of yourself. So paying attention to those things. What Mishu's also mentioning is that EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies that come from your phone and come from any electronic devices. So anything that's plugged in, even diffusers,
lamps,
emit a certain
diffusers,
amount. Your electronics, like your computers and your televisions, a lot. But even a plugged in to clock, that will emit EMFs. Where is your bedroom? Is on the other side of the wall? Do you have the PG&E meter?
Mm-hmm.
That's sending off tons of EMF. And what that is, it's like a really horrible music, like
to
really
yourself.
Horrible music. Like whatever music you do not like, that's an EMF. And it's really loud. So depending on, like, even their cell phones have different amounts, but depending on the PG&E meter is blasting that music that you hate. Your television and your computer, pretty loud. Your cell phone, pretty loud. So start looking at your electronics as bad music, as bad noise that's impacting your body. And what is, when you're listening to really ugly music that you don't like, what does it do to you? It like agitates you and just like, ugh, right?
Well, and we know that frequencies and like are healing, and they're not healing, they're destructive. So like you can do like sound bowls and sound healing and sound frequencies and that kind of thing, and those are all really healing because they're at a certain frequency for your cells that make them happy and thrive. And then there's frequencies that are bad for your cells and your your mind and stuff like that.
So Peyton, put your phone out of your room. If you have a TV in your room, consider taking your TV out of your room.
Or put your phone on airplane mode at night. Just turn it off. Airplane mode at night. Because I'm not taking my phone out of my room. It's just not something I'm going to do. But I put it on airplane mode because I listen to podcasts and I listen to meditation things on it, and it's my alarm clock. And I'm not going to get a sound machine, and I'm not going to get an alarm clock for my side of my bed. That's just who I am. So I turn it on airplane mode, so it's off.
Good. Consider turning your whole Wi-Fi off at night also. So like we just put a Christmas tree light switch, you know, that goes tick, 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 and turns on and off at certain times. We plugged our Wi-Fi into that. So at a certain time at night, it turns off, and then in the morning, it turns back on. So that kind of turns, because the Wi-Fi is also just this rattling noise for our whole bodies. And so then sleeping all night long with this shaking of our cells, it can be really hard on our bodies, and it impacts our body's ability to heal and repair too. So consider all those things for nighttime routine. But consider your alcohol amount. Consider switching to a tea or switching to anything else that's soothing for yourself besides alcohol if you can, or start weaning yourself down off of it. If alcohol is going in your bubble, then look at it. Okay, I have to stop because I know so many of us are like, oh, I could have a glass of wine, you know, before bed or something like that. But if you're having alcohol nightly and you're finding that you're needing it to go to sleep, write it down. Write it down in one of your bubbles.
Or if you're having it nightly and you're not sleeping,
right,
write it down.
Pay attention to that and honor yourself and know and don't deny, don't distract yourself and turn off this class. But pay attention to that, because that could really be impacting your health. I mean, you know it does anyways, but I'm not saying like altogether, but honor it enough to stop and say, do I need to look at this? That's all you need to do with all of these things. Just stop and say, do I need to look at this? Because if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're having trouble during the day, if your organs are having difficulty, if your body's having difficulty repairing, stop and look at it. You are important, and we need you in our lives. We need you to take care of yourself. So it's worth stopping and paying attention to this stuff. You can find other methods. There are many, many other methods to take care of yourself. So they're out there, and that's what our groups are about, is sharing ideas and sharing resources and sharing tools. But you will find other methods. So, I mean, you guys know the products.
Well, that, but also like the starter kit is really great for, I mean, we have all these other products, but the starter kit is amazing because it can help you with sleep, but it can also help you with emotions, and it can help you with physical pain. It can help you with a lot of different aspects and a lot of different things that we talked about here. Digestion, we talked about. Thyroid health, talked about. All the things. And then obviously ImmuPro.
Yeah, ImmuPro is sleep essence. So I was just reading about ImmuPro in the book, because I was reading insomnia. Oh yeah, sleep disorders. Melatonin is the most powerful natural remedy for restoring both quality and quantity of sleep. It improves the length of time the body sustains deep stage 4 sleep, the time when the immune system and growth hormone production reaches its maximum. Imupro not only contains melatonin, but also mineral and polysaccharide complexes to restore natural sleep rhythm and eliminate insomnia. So that was new to us. The idea of, I mean, I'm wondering if that's part of this is like almost a regimen to help you get back into regular sleep cycles. We don't know, but we're curious about it. So if that's something that you're writing down in your bubble, I mean, you could totally try taking this on a regular basis for a while and see if it helps restart. But if you're, I guess, over menopause, then taking melatonin anyways, because I've always been told you're not supposed to take melatonin every day, but I guess that's for under menopausal. And so men in general then?
Men too? Yeah.
In general.
Same thing. Yeah, I think it's just in general.
Okay, so that was really interesting to see that. But insomnia may also be caused by bowel or liver toxicity, poor heart function, negative memories and trauma, depression, mineral deficiencies, hormone imbalance, or underactive thyroid. So you guys know all the different things that we have. I mean, I'm looking at your names and your faces up here. Like, you guys are so knowledgeable about all this stuff. We just grabbed like Ningxia Red, because of the minerals that are available in there and the polysaccharides and all this stuff. Like, join our Ningxia Red challenge and start doing that on a regular basis. But there are so many oils. There's Sleepy Eyes for the kids, but it's such a beautiful blend. There's Seedlings Calm, Peace and Calming, Roman Chamomile, Vetiver. Vetiver and cedarwood are really great for calming.
Valerian.
Yeah, but cedarwood and vetiver for calming your mind.
I love the smell of vetiver now.
Yeah.
I hate the smell of valerian, but
yeah, valerian's pretty strong.
Vetiver is so woodsy and grounding and calming. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, but Rutabaga has the CBD Calm roller too. Oh my gosh, I love the CBD Calm.
I love that one too.
Oh, and taking CBD on a regular basis. That's huge for the endocannabinoid system. Endocannabinoid system. So CBD on a regular basis. But Rutabaga has valerian in it and lavender. It's a really beautiful blend. Tranquil is a beautiful blend. Stress Away. So that's where you need to start. So you need to start here. And you've maybe written down some different things. Oh, it could be this, it could be this. And then what you can do is you can start thinking, oh, okay, well, this can help Ruta. Can I write Ruta? La. They probably can't even see that. But like, then you can start thinking, oh, do I need Stress Away? Is that what's happening? Do I need, is this my liver? Should I do a liver cleanse? Then you start thinking about like, what are some of the ways that I can solve my problems?
Voila! Look at that. You get to be the CEO of your own body and you get to figure out what's going on with you because only you live in your body.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to tell you what's going on. You got to figure it out. I love these little bubble graphs. They're super fun.
So start with your problem. Start thinking about all the different reasons why that problem could be there and start paying attention to your life. It's going to take some investigation. If you're jacked up, you didn't get jacked up overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. This has been lifelong stuff, perhaps even generational, that's been building and building and building and building. And then it's like this compound effect. And so you have to start digging away at the pieces. It's these layers of things that you got to work on. And it is harder work, but guess what? It's going the opposite direction because you start like this, like, and you start peeling away. Yes, it's hard work, but guess what? Then you come out, the beautiful flower, the beautiful thing, and everything.
I saw something about a caterpillar and a butterfly and how a caterpillar turns into a big old mushy mess and then turns into a beautiful butterfly. So you have to get from where you are to a big old mushy mess, figure out what's going on, and then you're a beautiful butterfly afterwards.
Right.
And in all areas.
What's the other option? Your big old jacked up mess, and what do you start doing with synthetic medications and everything?
Yeah.
Right? Because what is I mean, like Mishu tells me, like people come in for surgery appointments because now they have to have something removed.
Right.
Because
We also didn't mention
way
that.
far away from this.
Medications, side effects of medications.
Yeah,
Can be insomnia.
Insomnia is listed on medication side effects. So if right in your bubble, if you're taking medications, make yourself a new bubble. Oh shoot, that's right, I am on these medications, and look those up. Look them up. I'm not saying you need to stop or do it. No. I'm just saying look it up and find out, is insomnia or sleep, impacted by this? Knowledge is power. Just start there and figure that out. Then you figure out what you need to do next, if you can do anything about it. But just know, is that what's happening? But anyways, I was saying that, then you go to Mishu for an appointment for surgery, and you have this long list of medications because it needs to solve this problem, because now this problem is here, and then this problem, and it's just your shitstorm gets bigger. So do the hard work and do the investigation and peel away the layers and figure out what's going on, because all you're doing is every layer that you're pulling back is allowing yourself to shine better and be that beautiful person that you are. Because all of this stuff, this inability, this trouble sleeping, this worry, this stress, this physical pain, these organ issues, this not you. It's not you. It's not you at all, and you can release it. You can let go of it. You can heal it. You can repair it, and you can let it go, because it's not you. That's a huge part of this, is recognizing you are not your problems. Yes. So, do you guys have any things you want to add, please? Because we know that you are all experts as well.
Yes, add anything. Anything.
Take a water break. Wait.
A breath. A fresh air break. Citrus fresh in my water tonight, thanks to Mishu.
Hi.
Hi.
Meditation is a biggie. The AM and the PM is always recommended, but when I do that, it's so helpful because it gets so much of that mind load off, because I lying in bed, then I start processing it. It's one thing to have all these thoughts coming in and bombarding me, but then I try to process it all. And what does it mean, and what am I need to do, or whatever. So if I'm sitting up and I'm meditating in the afternoon, then that's what comes to my head. And so I'm doing it there. And then when I go to bed, it's not so much of a need.
Yes, 100%. The beautiful.
Yeah, and it takes time to practice meditating too. It's not easy to do when you first start out.
No, but the Calm app is a really great app, and it has a free 7-day intro to meditation, or if it's more than 7 days, I don't know, but it kind of teaches you how to do it. And it's like 10 little 10-minute increments daily that you can
That's an app that you just pay for, and then
I think it's free, and you can do the upgraded version, but there is stuff on the free one, Calm, CALM.
And do they does it time you, or does it
Yeah, it's guided meditation. So
nice.
It's a period of time.
Yeah. And what are some things that other people do? I do a lot of reading at night when I go to bed, but I'd like to even limit some of that. What other, I'm guilty of the solitaire hour on my iPad, because it makes my mind, it kind of just boom, and then I'm done with that. But
yeah, I would really recommend that you maybe even get a 5 steps that you do each night, and includes a time of, okay, after this time, we're not going to do this. And so John said on here that we have agreed, so him and his wife, John and Gretchen, have agreed not to talk about finances before bedtime. And there's two things about that. One is that's a great idea, because finances are something that's going to overstimulate you and just
keep your mind going.
But huge partners that live together are making agreements on a bedtime routine, and that's really important too. So having those conversations with Jim about, like, well, before bed, this is really important to me and I need your help, having a time limit for your TV or having a time limit for such and such. Because I know if, like, Mishi wants to hang out and watch TV longer and I'm like, oh, I just want to be with him, but I'm tired and I want to go to bed, having an agreement beforehand. So instead of waiting until that night to try and figure it out, maybe talk about it during the day and say, these are the things that are really important to me to help me fall asleep. So I need these things to happen and I need your support too.
Yeah, we've done that. And I have a page of notes here from both of you, your ideas and
Okay.
our thing is to, anybody gets up in the middle of the night and comes back to bed, nobody says anything to that person. We do not talk to each other.
Yes.
We have that agreement, because then boom, you're awake. So
right.
Made those kinds of things, and also just that it's a calm time and diffusing. What oils, and then I'll stop. But what oils do you recommend to use that can be left on all night? Because I don't have a timer on mine, and I don't know how to do that.
For the diffuser?
Yeah.
So I mean, in the diffuser, things like Roman chamomile or like lavender, things that are just going to be calming. But I would say on your body, like cedar wood across the forehead, or tranquil on the back of your neck, on your wrist, so that you're smelling it when you're going to sleep. Your toes.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing then. So maybe I don't need the diffuser. I use the rutavala on my feet.
Yeah.
And my wrists, and so I can smell it.
Yeah. So
Great.
Mom, I would really say get a 5-step program going on for you, and figure out 5 different things that are really important for you to help you get to sleep.
Yeah. Look at your little bubble that you did.
Yeah, I got it.
To pick the 5 most important things and just get that little routine down.
Yeah. The routine.
Sounds like you have the meditation down, which is awesome. So just add a few more things to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like
every night start your diffuser. Every night put on, your rutavala or whatever your oils are. I have my sleepy oils right next to my bed, so that if I do wake up in the middle of the night, I can reach out and grab and roll it over my head and my wrist.
I have that.
But yeah, this diffuser and a lot of the newer ones, you can set when you push it. The first time it's on full strength, but if you push it again, it's on lower strength, and it goes
longer. Or you can do it on intermittent and it would go all
Yeah, that's what I do, the intermittent all night.
Oh, that's true. Perfect. So, and if you want to try with just 4 drops in there, depending on the size of your bedroom, that sort of thing, just try 4 drops and increase it if you want to. But yeah.
Immupro maybe
every single,
just with melatonin in it.
Immupro, Mom, that would be good.
Thank you very much. This is helpful.
But I think that idea of the 5 steps is really good from this. Like, so this is going to give you some projects, right? You're going to have some projects on this, like, oh God, I got to do a liver cleanse, or I need to start eating better, or whatever it might be. Like, you got some projects now, but try and also pull out a 5-step nightly routine of things to work on right before bed. Okay, I need to make sure that by whatever time, my phone is off and put aside, because I know that's a challenge for me. I need to make sure that I don't answer the phone, or I don't talk to these people, or I start putting my I realize I need to put my diffuser on 1 hour before bed to help me unwind, or whatever it might be. Figure out your steps and just stick with your 5 steps and your projects for like a month, really, and see how it goes for you. Any other suggestions, you guys? Pillow sprays are really nice. Yeah, you can get the Seedlings pillow spray, or you can make your own for sure of whatever oils you love. Mixing a little spray bottle with witch hazel is better than all water, because it evaporates faster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just originally hydration. I get really dry throat at night, so having water with lemon by the side of my bed helps at night.
Yeah, just be able to reach it and grab it for sure. And it's also a great way to start your day is like having that water there. Like this is my water. I'll have a drop of lemon in here in full glass. First thing I do when I wake up is drink it all down. Like when I'm sitting there, I just drink it all. First thing in the morning to just help the flush go, help my digestive system wake up, help my liver, all that stuff. Super
That's a
good.
good idea.